This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with a Miele dishwasher with an F-70 error, which pertains to a leak or a flood. There's a drip pan underneath the dishwasher, and when water leaks into that for some reason, it'll show an F-70 error, and it'll just continually drain. You won't be able to pick any cycles. It'll just drain every time the power's on. So we're going to investigate why this one is in that drain mode showing F-70. So we're removing the kick panel first. We take out two Torx 15 screws from the bottom, and then there's a little panel. This is the Optima version of the Miele dishwasher. A little panel here that we can remove two more Torx 15 screws, and then we can lift up on this panel. It's important we have the dishwasher unplugged at this point. We want no power to the dishwasher. We're going to pry up on this panel, and then when I pry up on it, I can already feel it's wet. I reach in there, and there's a lot of water, and it's showing F-70, so that means it's flooded. So I'm going to turn it off, make sure I unplug it, or you can turn off the breaker. Usually you can just unplug them. And then what I want to do is get this dishwasher out of the cabinet so I can take a look at what's happening. So I try to use a turkey baster to drain any water that might be left in the sump. And now I'm going to make the front legs drop down by sticking a standard head screwdriver in the grooves of the front leg and moving it to my right. And that'll make the little front legs go up into the dishwasher, which lowers the front. And I have to make sure I remove the little screws that hold in the dishwasher to the cabinet. There's either a couple at the top or there's a couple on the sides, depending on how the person put them in. This one had some that were on the sides. So we remove those. Usually the little cap in the way, and then use a Torx 15 screw to pull those out, or there could be a couple at the top. So get those screws out, and then you should be able to just grab the dishwasher, kind of wiggle it out of the cabinet, wiggle it back and forth. And the Miele dishwasher is set up really nice. It has a long drain tube and a long fill tube, so you should be able to pull it out of the cabinet without having to disconnect its water supply or the drain. Now what I'm doing is I put a towel down. I'm leaning the dishwasher forward so all that water can pour out from the drip tray onto the towel. And then I'll flip the towel around and just try to get more water out. So something's leaking underneath the dishwasher that's causing the F-70. Sometimes it's actually a pretty easy thing. It's just that the drain tube is linked to the sink, and the water from the sink is pouring into the drip tray. And sometimes there's a part of the dishwasher that's leaking that you have to repair. So I'm getting all the water out of here first, and now I'm going to lay the dishwasher on its side. Just be careful of the drain tube and the fill tube. Make sure you don't stretch them out. Just take your time, carefully lower it down. A little water may come out, so make sure you have a towel ready. And then I'm going to remove two Torx 15 screws from the front that hold on the front part of the drip tray. And then there's going to be two near the back legs that we have to pull out. These are all the same size screws, which is great. And then once you get those off, there's 4 total, and you can just pull the drip tray off. And you kind of look in there and see if you see anything obvious that shows where the leak was occurring. A lot of times it has to do with the motor. A little seal leaks, or vibration has caused something to loosen up. So I just see there's a lot of water in here. I'm just feeling the hoses, making sure they're on securely. There's really 3 big hoses that hook up to your motor, your circulation pump. You want to make sure that they're all on there tight. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put down a couple of metal boxes to put the dishwasher up onto, almost like the jacks you would use when you jack up a car. So I can look underneath while the dishwasher is running. That helps me to see exactly where it's leaking. Otherwise, it's just really hard to see because there's not much room in there. So I'm putting it up on a couple of metal boxes. You could use a lot of different things to hold it up. I've got these boxes on the side. And then I'll turn on the power and I'll run a cycle, and I'll just stare at it during fill, I'll stare at it during circulation, stare at it during drain to see if I can see which component might be leaking. These are the two boxes holding it up. Now I'm looking underneath and just seeing if I see any kind of drip. I'm seeing a little bit of drip at the circulation motor. Looks like it might be between, yeah, just a little bit here near this one fastener on the left-hand side. It's probably just a loose screw in this case. Sometimes it's a little more involved and you have to remove the motor and do some investigation, but having it up on these stands, you get a clear look at what might be causing it. So I'm going to tighten up this one screw with a Torx 15. I got it on a ratchet so I can get a little more leverage. I don't want to over tighten it, but you want to get it really snug and see if that'll help slow down, reduce, or eliminate the drip. Now testing it, putting the unit back on, and then I'm seeing if I get any more drip. And in this case, that solved our problem. So no more drip, and we shouldn't have any more F-70. Now it's just a matter of putting it on its side again, putting the drip tray back on, tightening all the screws, and then putting it back in the cabinet, just doing everything in reverse order. So I hope this helps you. That idea of putting it up on stands really should make your job easy to figure out which part is leaking, and you'll have your dishwasher working again, and you will have cured your F-70 problem. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance.